Peekaboo, you can see us now. We have faces. We are no longer faceless people. We actually, we can't see you, but you can see us. Welcome to the first ever video episode of Objectively Wrong, presented by The Next Men Up. I am still John. That's still a teen, but you can see us now. Why are you laughing already?
The whole situation where it's like peekaboo. I just wanted to go like, I see you.
I see you. I see you. Yeah, this is big. This light's very bright. I have never used this light before. I hate it. Welcome, guys. This is a big step. Now I'm here. MTeen's here. Our editor, Chris, is not here, but he will be, and that's how you'll get this episode, because without him, you would never hear us say anything. Maybe you prefer that.
We're totally dependent.
We are very dependent on Chris. Chris Theditor. That's his legal name, Chris Theditor. And also joining us today is Kevin, the intern. Kevin is not allowed on camera. He's very, very camera shy. He's just scared little guy. So he's going to have his own little corner below us. And he'll periodically connect with you guys throughout the show. Say hello, Kevin. There's no audio to this part. This is only for the people on YouTube. I'm sorry. If you want to see what Kevin is saying to everybody, feel free to join us on YouTube. All right. Kevin, are you ready to have such a great show? Good. I don't even know what we're putting there. I know we wrote the first one. We didn't write the second one yet.
This was my idea, and just seeing you go full Dora, I've made mistakes in my life.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I'm going to steer right into that skid.
All right.
Constantly. So yeah, this is big. Very, very exciting. The first few of these are going to be a mess, aren't they?
Oh yeah,
because we're trying to juggle the Kevin thing. Who knows? If the Kevin thing doesn't work, we'll just stop doing it. But
never.
Yeah, well, no, Kevin needs something to do.
Kevin's corner.
Yum. Every time you do that, it sounds like the Red Robin slogan. Like
really, I'm trying to do Reading Rainbow.
I know you are, but I must be hungry. Even though I just had dinner, it's 11 o'clock at night. We usually don't record this late. Ebteen's been drinking, and this is going to be a nightmare.
Yep. I
anyway,
can't show what I've been drinking.
Yeah, we can't show. What we also wanted to do is, because we probably should not be wearing logos. So I'm wearing an Eagles Super Bowl championship shirt. Ebteen is wearing a Raiders shirt. Why are you not reversed, by the way?
What do you mean?
Like, when I look at yours, is my eagle facing to the right or the left?
My left, your right.
So it's facing this way for you?
No, other way.
I'm confused. Whatever. I'm already confused. For me, it's the right. Anyway, so let's get down to business. Now, we could sit here and talk about the Kyler Murray letter. We're not. I think Kyler Murray said more than enough about it, evidenced by the fact that I think it had the word count of the U.S. Constitution.
Jesus Christ.
It was just ridiculous. Did you see that thing? Did you even read the whole thing?
No, I refuse to.
Right. It's so long. It's taller than he is.
Did it mention firing Cliff Kingsbury?
I don't know.
It should have.
I mean, there's a lot of things to say in there. I don't know. This show is so much about like us talking to you guys about what we think about things. And when we don't want to think about a thing, why would we talk about it? If Kyler Murray really enters the trade room, like trade discussions, we'll talk about things.
Oh yeah.
Until things, I mean, we thought there was a rumor that today we were going to hear about Aaron Rodgers, like possible pending retirement. Didn't hear it.
Nah.
Tom Brady, Bruce Arians said, they was asked a question today I guess they're at the combine already. Arians was asked a question today. If Tom Brady decides he wants to come back and play for another team, would you guys make it easy for him? And Arians was like, no. It's like, okay, cool.
All right, let's tickle the subject a little bit though. Kyler Murray, $45 million a year, yay or nay?
Hell nay.
Hell nay. $40 million, yay or nay? I'm at nay.
Here's the problem. The market is going to be what the market is.
Mm-hmm.
How many current starting quarterbacks are definitely better than Kyler Murray? Is it more than half the league? The answer is no.
Not even close.
Is it 10 guys?
Yes.
Is it 12 guys?
No. I did the list.
You did the list.
I did the list.
You left me out of the loop on this. Go ahead. Who do you have better than him? I'll say yay or nay to these.
In his current system? Because I did this approaching the current system with this coming year, seeing what we've seen so far.
Current system of the Cardinals or current system of the league?
Cardinals.
Okay.
No, like I made this list, right? With my current assumption of how the quarterbacks will look going into next year. This is predicting the
guys
future.
that you think are going to still be in the league at least.
Yeah. Tom Brady is not on this list.
Brady's not on the list. Okay, continue.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
My top 5 is completely crap because I have not ranked it. It's Burrow, Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Herbert, and Aaron Rodgers.
Sure. I would say, given the assumption that Rodgers won't retire.
Yeah, of course.
Sure.
Matthew Stafford. I have Matthew Stafford ahead of him.
I agree.
I have Russell Wilson ahead of him.
I agree. What is that, 7?
Yeah, that's 7. But I also noted that I don't believe Russell Wilson is in a system to succeed, and he looked kind of mediocre this year. At times.
He looked hurt.
Yeah. I had Lamar Jackson above him, but I also said he needs to develop as a passer.
I'm torn on that one.
I had Dak Prescott above him, and I had
that one too.
I had Dak Prescott. I had the notion, like the little parentheses, why can't he win football games with that offense? And then I have Carr above him because those were my problem with Kyler Murray is.
Do you know why Kyler is not below Derek Carr?
Why?
Because he's 24.
No, I agree with that.
It's just he can't be. I understand from the perspective of what he does on the field, but no.
No, I was literally just grading on the field. Fine. I did not care about age. I cared about what he was like.
You care about work product.
Yeah. My problem with Kyler Murray is I think Cliff Kingsbury is holding him back. I think injuries are starting to become a real concern about him. I think when he becomes frustrated, he just becomes a bad quarterback.
Okay.
And I wonder why the Cardinals are struggling to win playoff games when they have DeAndre Hopkins, James Conner, who was a touchdown machine last year, Kenyon Drake, who is not Kenyon Drake. I'm sorry.
Chase Edmonds.
Chase Edmonds, who is
I
solid.
knew you were going to do that too. In my head, I was like, I better get ready to say Chase Edmonds.
Yeah. And AJ Green, who didn't play like a liability last year. He actually showed up for parts of the season. And an offensive line that includes Rodney Hudson. Like, I have problems with the Cardinals' offense not outputting like they should be on paper. And some of it's Cliff Kingsbury and some of it's Kyler Murray. And I look forward.
I'm just writing the quotes in there. Don't bother with the chat. If I write it in the chat, just ignore it for now.
I look forward to seeing the Cardinals next year to see if they take a step or if they just completely collapse. And knowing Cliff Kingsbury, it will be a complete collapse historically.
Yeah, I can't debate a ton of that or dispute a ton of it. I've been following Kyler since he was in high school. I've known about the player for a really long time, and I saw an article headline. I did not read it. Granted, I did not read the whole article, but the headline really struck a chord with me because the headline, I think it was SI that wrote it. I think it was one of theirs, but I read it, and the headline was something along the lines of Kyler Murray is essentially Jay Cutler. Think about it though. He's got immeasurable talent. He's got unparalleled talent, but he's just a crappy leader.
I think he needs to grow up.
Yeah, Jay Cutler kind of never did in this league, at least. I don't know what he does now, but
he didn't grow up outside the league either.
Yeah. So
okay. And the reason I had Kyler Murray at 11 is because if you really put like the whole set below him, that includes Tannehill, Kirk Cousins, Baker Mayfield, Carson Wentz, like all that, Jalen Hurts, Mac Jones, like all of that set for me is still clearly below Kyler. But it's tough, man.
Have I said before that Mac Jones' nickname needs to become Mac Daddy? Have I said that on the show yet?
No, I don't think
I'm saying it now. Patriots fans, grow a pair and start calling him Mac Daddy.
What about the Big Mac?
That works too.
Especially if you get some McDonald's sponsorship.
Yeah, Mac Daddy's funnier. Come on, Mac Daddy.
That
guy, he hit the gritty during the Pro Bowl. It was the stupidest thing I'd ever seen in my life. God. And he ran like, I think he was tackled or two-hand touched or brushed by after like a 7-yard rush, and then he ran 60 more to go in the end zone and just hit the gritty. It was weird. It was really weird. But that's some Mac Daddy energy right there. You'd parallel Joe Shiesty or Joe Burr, which is just a dumb nickname.
It's Joe Cool, dude. Joe Burr.
Joe Cool's fine. Joe Cool's fine. Joe Cool's fine. Joe Burr, I hate. Joe Shiesty doesn't make any sense. Mac Daddy, that's funny. Please still be good next year, because otherwise Mac Daddy can't work with you. Remember when ESPN tried to force my homeboy to be named Showtime?
Yeah, I do.
Remember that? What was that, Joe Testator that was just really trying to hammer that home?
What is it now? It's Patty Mahomeboy, right?
I call him the Mahomeboy. I don't know if that's a nickname for him, but that's what I call him.
I call him Kermit.
Well, a lot of people do. No, I call him the Mahomeboy. It's such a seamless, like, it's a fluid nickname. If I had ever said that to Mahomes, if I ever had the pleasure of meeting Patrick Mahomes, I would ask him, I was like, hey, I got to ask you a question. I've coined this name for you. I don't know why I started saying it. I had no basis for it. I was like, what do you think of Mahomeboy? I don't know if he would dig that.
No, Mahomeboy is common. You're not the first person to say it to me.
Is that true?
Yeah, I've heard Mahomeboy all the time.
I started saying it after year 2 and just kind of kept saying it. I actually don't think I've ever heard anyone else say it. So either I'm out of the loop or I'm lying. I don't think I'm lying, though.
You know what's funny? Outside of the show, I'm more likely to call Patrick Mahomes just straight up Patrick. Like, I don't say the Mahomes ever.
Patrick?
Yeah, I just call him Patrick.
No, this is Patrick.
All right, let's get off Kyler Murray because we didn't even want to talk about it.
Oh, please. Yeah, we went from Kyler Murray talking about actual quarterbacks. Let's talk about people that are really important to quarterbacks, especially in the modern NFL. And ladies and gentlemen, today we have 2 position groups for you. We're going to do them a little differently, though, than we did running backs and wide receiver. We're going to do tight ends the same way. We're going to do offensive linemen differently. How differently? Here's how. Epteen doesn't know jack about OLine. He admits it.
I will be a wonderful host.
He will host this. He will ask me questions, and I will have to respond to them. I've done the bulk of the OLine study. We did a good deal of it together, but Epteen will admit it's not his strongest position. So we are still good for our money here. And by money, we mean we don't do this for pay yet. So the tight ends, yeah, welcome to YouTube. So we did tight ends. We were originally going to do tight ends with the running back episode, but it makes sense to do it here. And
the running back episode went long.
The running back episode really long. Actually, you know what's funny? I listened to it today. It's only like an hour 10.
A little bit of housekeeping. If you're watching this on YouTube, you'll currently notice that episodes 1 and 2 that include wide receiver and running backs are also posted, but it does not include our beautiful faces. They don't. We didn't do video pods for those.
No, we did not.
After this episode, every episode will have our beautiful faces. So tight ends, John.
Very excited.
All right,
Very excited.
Are we going to start from the bottom? I feel like for tight ends, it actually would be better for us to just start from the top.
Oh, for tight ends?
Yeah.
I mean, the problem is there's so like tight ends. Yeah, the problem with the tight end class this year, and it's something we learned going over the tight end class this year. There is one tight end. There is one tight end that is really good. Really, really good. Like, stupid good. And then there's a bunch that aren't that good. What are you typing?
Kevin's Corner.
Kevin's Corner. Yeah, it's interesting what okay.
My Kevin's going to be weird. Your Kevin's going to be simple.
What do you mean simple? It's going to be sarcastic. Do we need two Kevins?
There are two corners.
There's four.
Yeah, but those corners are taken.
I mean, no. Kevin's a person. We aren't writing these. Continue. This is hard, by the way.
All right.
I'm realizing how difficult this is. So, did we even sort these? Because we kind of didn't. There's nothing to really sort here.
There's a top two, and then there's a bunch of others that all occupy the same draft area.
Yeah, I mean, here's the reality. We can talk about it from the bottom up or not, but I'm okay doing. I mean, we only have 8 we really want to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'll throw one guy in there though. I'll throw 2 guys in there real quick though that we didn't get a chance to look at. Or I guess the 3 down here that we didn't get a chance to look at. So John Fitzpatrick out of Georgia, he's kind of a mid to late rounder. He's gigantic. He's 6'7", 250. I don't love that weight on that height, but that's pretty wild. There's not much on him, but he seems to be creeping up boards really slowly. And I mean, real slowly.
Big man.
Yeah, and I mean, real slowly. Like he's not he's not going to go early day 3. Probably he'll be a late pick, but he's an interesting prospect. So if you get a chance to look at tape of him. He's big and interesting. You're going to hear that trend. You're going to hear that a lot.
The next one, Greg Dulcich from UCLA, 6'4", 248. Him you might see in day 2.
Yeah, potentially.
He's a little bit more athletic. And that's really about it because UCLA wasn't really a good program.
Yeah, we stayed away from Dulcich's from ranking Dulcich here because he seems like somebody that's going to really help himself at the combine. And when we do the combine episode next week, we'll be talking. I think next week's the first mock?
Yeah.
Golly. It's only a first round mock. You're probably not going to hear most of these names on it. In fact, spoiler alert, you're not going to hear a tight end on that list.
You're not
going to hear a tight end on that list. But that's not to say there's no talent in this class, because there is. There's a couple of really great players, but it's not top end. Much like the running back class. Although, I don't know, man. Kenny was pretty impressive.
Yeah.
But Dulcich is interesting. 6'4", 248. The problem with him is that we need tape. We need more. We need the workout. And also, we need his stock to kind of stabilize. Generally speaking, if we get wind of a player that's on our list and we start hearing, oh, nobody knows where he fits as far as where he gets drafted, then we can't really rank him, because I understand we rank them based off of what we see as the player. And if we look at a player and we think, oh, that's a second round pick, but people think he's a 5th, then we're still going to rank him that way. But this is a player when there's no consensus. I've seen this guy go as high as 3 and as late as 7. There was a mock I saw he wasn't even on. So you need the tape. You need the workout. We're going to wait on it. And then the last one's Austin Allen at Nebraska. Another guy we didn't get a chance to take a look at, but another behemoth of a man, 6'8", 260. We will take a look. And also, just to double check on it, I want to make sure I'm right on this. I believe all of them are combine invites. Yeah, Allen,
every single one of them is combine invites.
Everybody that's the other thing, guys. You're going to be very hard pressed to find a player on our lists here that was not a combine invite.
There is no player on our list that's not a combine invite.
Well, on any list.
Yeah.
We'll probably only be taking in guys that are combine invites. I think the one exception was the return man out of Appalachian State.
Oh yeah, and that one was kind of weird.
It was
honestly.
odd. He was considered a snub.
Yeah.
So let's go to number 8. Or do you want to go from the top?
We're gonna go from the top because
Fine.
the tight ends are messy.
It goes off a cliff kind of quick.
All right, at number 1, we have
number 1
Trey McBride from Colorado State, a full 6'4", 260.
What's interesting about Trey McBride is that he's very clearly the best receiving tight end threat in this class. It's not close. When you look, I remember when Tina and I were watching the tape initially, he and I both, and this is not to say when we comp a player to somebody, it doesn't mean we think they're going to be that guy immediately. But Tina, you and I both, we almost looked at the camera, breaking the camera, like zoom fourth wall. And we were like, crap, it's Travis Kelce.
And I would have experience with Travis Kelce.
Yeah, he runs like him. He runs the routes like him. He catches the ball like him. Hell, he blocks like him, which is not that good. But he is a better blocker than Travis, we think. Good balance, really great catching of the football. Is a solid piece that he's going to be a great quarterback safety blanket in this league.
Yeah, I mean, we were watching him. You saw routes that Travis Kelce run because you would see he would be the tight end help for a pass rusher, and he would rub off the pass rusher, and then he'd be wide open up the middle, catches it, and he runs exactly like Travis Kelce. Whether or not he hits that peak in the NFL might actually be down to what team drafts him.
Yeah, the problem with Trey McBride, the only knock I'll put on him is that, he's only got 1 year of elite level production in college, playing at Colorado State. 90 catches for 1121. That's very good at tight end. The only problem I have with it is he only scored 1 touchdown. Now, we did watch some of his tape and looked at moments where he should have gotten a touchdown there, and it was not on him, it'd be on the quarterback. So this is a player that can thrive with a real quarterback throwing to him. I'm interested in this man's combine measurables because you could really make good money on a tight end in the 2nd or 3rd round. I don't think you're going to see this man in the 3rd round. I'm sure.
Oh, he's being drafted early in the 2nd round.
Who was the first tight end gone last year? Was it Freiermuth?
Yes.
This guy's better than him.
Yeah.
Straight up. This guy's better than him. I liken him more to the crop of, what's funny about this crop is it's kind of similar. McBride and his counterpart, spoiler alert, number 2, Jalen Weidermeyer, is I kind of feel like it's like Goddard and Gesicki almost. Remember how nobody knew who the better one was that year, and then ended up Goddard went first, Gesicki later. It kind of feels like that. Although this one, it feels like there is a little bit more separation. But we also wrote down here that I don't think you can go wrong with either one. They're different players, but they're both quite good.
I would clearly draft Trey McBride over Werdemeyer if I could. I just see a more complete player. Werdemeyer has significantly more potential if he reaches it, but
Werdermeyer's ceiling seems higher.
Yeah, but team fits. We're only going to do this for top 2 because tight ends are very hard to pick up team fits.
And spoiler alert, both of them have the exact same team fits.
Yeah, we got
to a T.
Green Bay, Denver, because Denver needs a tight end.
We don't like Noah Fant that much.
The Chargers, the Jets, the Miami Dolphins. Mike Gesicki is a free agent. Minnesota, Carolina, New Orleans, and Arizona.
There's no disagreement here. And you're going to notice something interesting when we go to O-linemen. There's a team that shows up every single time. But in this case, it would probably be a Charger situation where we're like, you need a tight end desperately.
Now, what does Trey McBride need to run in order to sneak into the 1st round?
I have no idea. I don't know if that would change it. I don't think Trey McBride's. You know what? I'll go out and say it like this. I don't think Trey McBride can get to the first round. I don't think he can. I think there's too much. I mean, you've seen when we talk about the O lineman tonight, we're going to be talking about roughly 7 potential first round picks.
When we look at the wide receiver, we had like 6 first.
We had like 6, right? So just 2 positions taking up almost half the first round. Mm-hmm. Not to mention the quota-induced 2 to 3 quarterbacks. We're only talking about offense right now. Yeah. I just don't see McBride getting there, and not to mention this is a historically top-heavy defensive end draft. Mm-hmm. So I just don't think there's enough spaces for him. I would more readily. I know it's not a premium position anymore. I'd more readily take Kenny Walker than Trey McBride in the first round. Like I would. I know you and I are probably in the minority on that, but the tape was silly at times where it's just like, and I have 9 yards now. It's like, snap 9 yards. Snap 1 second has passed and I have 3 first downs. Try again. Imagine them on the same team. It'd be like fire and ice. It'd be hell on earth. Trey is, I just thought of a Kevin's Corner quote right there.
Okay. I'll move on to number 2. Jalen Werdemeyer, Texas A&M, 6'5", 255. We were a little worried about his production going into the tape because it was lacking. And what we saw was a worse blocker than McBride by a lot. But we did see a better route runner and a better yards after catch, which was a little surprising, actually. He's not as good of a catcher as McBride. And you'll see a lot of compare and contrast because these two are clearly the top 2. McBride's catching radius was kind of ridiculous on the tape that we watched.
It was.
Werdemeyer is a much better athlete. He has potential to be an even better athlete. It's kind of crazy, like how much Werdemeyer could grow if he has his potential. McBride's a better player right now.
He is.
So basically what you're getting between these 2 tight ends is McBride is polished, Werdemeyer is raw and can be developed. And he's also going in the second round, probably.
Yeah, it's a project guy. Did I just have an internet lapse or am I good? I'm good? Okay, cool. Because I saw the light on my camera flash. It was weird. Weidermeyer is interesting because the more you watch of him, I've noticed the more we watch, the more I kind of liked him. I just saw you laugh at my quote. The more I've watched him and the more I like him, he is kind of the guy you like to draft, right? You like to draft a guy with room to grow. Because like we said last week with the running backs, if you can't grow, you're Jake Fromm, which I find funny that I mentioned a quarterback in a running back episode. But I digress. You need to be able to grow. And Weidermeyer has space to grow. Not to mention we comped him Mercedes Lewis, who only seems to grow younger. But when you're 6'5", 255, and you run the way he runs, and I anticipate Weidermeyer might run better than McBride at the combine.
Oh, I think he will. Yeah.
If that happens, you could see these guys flip. Because I could tell you right now, I almost want to 1A, 1B these guys. But the reason I don't think we should is I think you and I both agree that we think McBride's the better player. The problem is they're very different players. And I do think you're going to see a situation where a team that you think, oh, you got to draft Trey McBride, thinks Weidermeyer is a better fit and vice versa. So I don't think you can go wrong on either of these players. If I had to field a team today, McBride's going on the field for me. And Weidermeyer, I'll try him in a year. I think Weidermeyer is going to grow more than McBride. I think McBride's still going to get better. But the player he is right now he could be a top 12 tight end quick. He's what Cole Kmet couldn't accomplish. And Kmet was good coming out. But, he played for Matt Nagy. Number 3. Off the cliff.
Cade Utton. Washington.
I think it's Oton. I have no clue.
Okay. Cade Utton Oton. Washington.
Big dog, 6'5", 250. It's a trend, by the way, this year with tight ends. The 6'5", 6'6", 250 is strong with this class.
Now, when you talk about Cade, you talk about a high IQ player.
Yeah.
We saw him noticing formational mistakes while setting up on the line as a tight end. We saw
real quick,
him.
I'm just gonna bridge this real quick. Otan's actually our 4. I remember us talking about this. We didn't sort these again. Otan's our 4. Go look at who we have at number 7, and you will remember why Otan is our 4. Yeah. Otan's. Let's continue with Otan. We'll go back to who we have at number 3.
Again.
I mean, you guys could see it now. I don't have to say it anymore. Like you guys could see. You saw it. You saw how big Ipteen's eyes just got. He saw 7. He's like, oh crap, yeah, that is our number 3. after
McBride and Werdemeyer, it's a set. It's a set of people. Anyways, Cade, if you want a smart tight end, draft Cade. He's a solid to great pass blocker, and that is the highlight of his tape because run blocking was a problem. He struggled against linebackers. It was very noticeable, and it's honestly probably the biggest knock I'd give him coming in because I don't see
the blocking.
I don't see you throwing him out there as a pass catching tight end right away. He's likely to. You'll likely see him succeed if he's in the right system because he didn't have a good quarterback. Washington did not have a good quarterback.
Not elite.
And he's not a perfect prospect right now. He needs to develop. His route running was raw, but you could definitely work on it.
There's
he had an
pieces
okay
there.
release. Yeah. He's more of a developmental project who can pass block right now, and someone needs to talk to him about blocking linebackers.
Now, the one thing we need to touch on, I don't really know if you touched on this enough here. The player's IQ appears to be off the charts.
Oh, yeah.
There was a play that Ipteen and I watched. We watched a couple of games for Otan. In particular, there's a play in the game against Michigan. Washington played against Michigan. If you remember, Michigan houses probably 2 of the top 12 picks in this year's draft on the defensive ends. And Otan plays tight end. So what do you think he saw when he's looking across the line at Michigan? Probably saw Hutchinson on one side and a Jabo on the other. And we'll talk about them in a week or two. In particular, he noticed one of his teammates, a wide receiver, was lined up improperly. You have to be either on the line or just off the line, depending on your formation. And in this formation, I guess he needed to be, I believe it was off the line.
Yeah, he needed to be off the line.
He needed to step back off. And he was stepped on. So it would have been illegal formation on Washington. It would have been a cost of 5 yards. If not for Otan motioning to his receiver, you need to get the hell off the line, that would have been a flag. The only reason it happened was because Otan had the wherewithal to realize, oh, wait, I know this play. You can't be on that line. That's one of those intangibles that you see. And team meetings at the combine are going to happen this week prior to workouts. He's going to get asked about that. There's no way he isn't. And he's going to get asked about that. He's going to be applauded. And he's going to go up somebody's draft board, probably New England's. And
or mine at this point.
Or yours or Houston's. He's going to go up 3 draft boards immediately. And that's going to help his stock. We have him as a 3rd round grade. The skills are there. He's a fine player. He just needs to get better. Now that you notice the 3rd tight end is in the 3rd here. It's not the happiest class because there's not a ton of top-heavy tight end top-end tight end talent here, but there's nothing too bad about it.
It's a weirdly deep class, just not really special.
I'm sorry, 4th tight end in the 3rd round.
Yeah.
Let's go back to number 3 because we screwed up the organization here, and the number 3 tight end is Likely, and that's not just me being facetious. It's Isaiah Likely from Coastal Carolina. Another guy, he's standing at 6. He's at 6'4". Oh, he's short. No, he's not. 255. He is a pretty firm 3rd round grade to us. And this is a player comp that we saw online. We were trying to figure it out. And we saw this one and we were like, Yeah, it's exactly right, actually. Delaney Walker. This guy's speed is ridiculous at tight end. Like, it's actually insane. I think he had a 99-yard touchdown or something crazy. He just hit the seam and just went.
Do you think he can run a 4.5 in the combine?
If I see him run a 4.5, he could go to the 2.
Yeah.
He could go to the late 2 if he runs a 4.5 at tight end. He's a good blocker, but he needs to improve at it. But the biggest note you put here, and this is why I hate the combine when it comes to a combine is going to make or break the man's career, because Kevin White was a combine superhero and he got hurt out after being drafted in the top 10 and like barely played NFL ball. But Kevin White had one of the best modern day combines you could ever see, and he made no career out of it. I don't want to say a combine is the be all end all of a guy's outcome. I mean, look at Orlando Brown. He's a Pro Bowl tackle and he had the worst combine you've ever seen. What did he run, like a 5.8, I think is what he did. I think he put like 8 reps on the bench. Like, it was terrible.
Look at Obi Melifonwu. Amazing combine.
Melifonwu was a monster combine.
Didn't do a single thing in the NFL.
Out of UConn, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, likely's going to have a good combine. He's going to be a fun player at the combine. I'm interested to see what he does lifting. I don't care about his 40 time because I know how fast he is. I'm good. That dude can fly. It was a run-heavy offense at Coastal Carolina.
Can we talk about the Coastal Carolina offense? It was bad.
Weird. It was like the
weirdest
Georgia
thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, any of y'all remember the Georgia Tech offense from like a little bit less than a decade ago, where all they ran was the option? Like all of it was the read option, constant bootlegs to left or right, pitches back, or just taking it. Like it was painful to witness. It works sometimes. It doesn't necessarily have to be your base, but it was at Coastal Carolina this year. You'd think you'd want to put the ball in Isaiah Likely's hands more often.
Nope.
His tape against Arkansas State was ridiculous. Like exceedingly ridiculous, to the point where I need to double check right now what that box score was, because he put together numbers, if I remember correctly, that are you just don't see a tight end do in a single game. And let's see if I can find these real quick. He caught 59 balls this year for 912 and scored 12 touchdowns, which is insane. And he, against Arkansas State, put up 8 catches. Oh, God, that's a violent Kevin Scorner. Golly. Arkansas State, 8 receptions. That's going to sound funny when it's said on the show after. It's almost like I'd seen it.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Arkansas State tape, 8 catches for 232 and 4 touchdowns, including a 99-yarder. Yeah, he's pretty good. It's a fun player. Let's go to number 5. And I want to double check real quick to make sure that we've got this order right now, because we did OT.
I'm pretty sure that it's Kolar.
I think you're right.
Yeah. So number 5, give me the number 5, John.
No, number 5.
We're gonna go with Charlie Kolar, Iowa State.
Iowa State.
6'6",
Guess what his height and weight are.
6'6", 256.
Guess what his height? Guess how big he is.
Charlie Kolar is interesting, because when we were looking around at mocks on the internet, as one is supposed to, we saw him projected for rounds 5, 6, and we don't get it. We don't get it whatsoever.
We put some analysis in here, and I just want to accentuate this one word, a la Stephen A. Smith. So if you'll indulge me, the disrespect that they put on this, I just spit everywhere. The disrespect to put Charlie Kolar in mid to late day 3. This man should not be there in the 5th. He might not be there in the 4th. He probably will be. But 3 to 4, guys, 3 to 4, 5 to 6. Are you crazy? He's got crazy gifts.
He's probably going to test well in the combine. He's another one to look out for in the combine. His production in college, we saw tight ends having like lacking box scores, lacking production in college. He did not. He needs to get better in blocking. He needs to get better at running his routes because he kind of rounded them out.
They were not the sharpest routes.
Yeah. The problem with Kolar and the problem with tight end in general is after McBride and Werdemeyer, there are pieces for a team to fall in love with, and it's hard to dispute it.
It feels like tight ends are going to be based on fits this year.
Yeah.
Rather than just pure talent. Kolar is going to fit somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And he does strike me as a guy that you bring in as a complimentary tight end who overtakes your starter in a year.
Maybe 2 years.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But like if you brought him into like, this is an example. I'm not saying they would take him or anything. Let's say he goes to like a Seattle. Okay. How long does it take for him to overtake Gerald Everett?
Who's not really set there anyway.
12 games. Like it wouldn't take him long. He'd be the starter. He'd probably be the tight end breadwinner halfway, if not a little bit later into the season.
What about Chicago?
Oh God. Remember a couple years ago, they had 9 tight ends on the roster.
Oh yeah. Was it Adam Shaheen?
Shaheen was Chicago? There. Komet was there. There were 7 others that made no sense. It was awful. And then they cut like almost all of them. Like it was weird. I think they had Trey Burton in there for a cup of coffee.
Matt Nagy, man.
Matt Nagy, man. Yeah, remember they paid him. They paid Burton $8 million a year. Then he kept getting hurt, right? Yeah. Poor Burton. I miss him. He was a great tight end 3. Who they paid him a TE1. They paid him like a TE1. You know what's funny? Right. I think he would have been a TE1 if not for the injuries. It's a shame.
Anything else you want to add to Kolar?
He's going to test great.
He's going to rise. Watch him to be a riser.
I expect this guy's going to climb. That's why we put him at 3 to 4. If he's 5 to 6 now, you're tripping. He's going up.
He's a steal if he's 5 to 6.
Charlie Kolar on the 5. If you took him, good job.
Mm-hmm.
Good job. You're going to be happy with that. Probably. I say probably on everything because I don't want to look like, what is it? Mel Kiper back in the day when he thought Trent Dilfer was going to be an elite quarterback.
All right. Kolar, not going to be elite.
He probably won't be one of the best tight ends in football, but he's got the gifts. He's one of those sleeper guys. You know what he reminds me of that we've already talked about this year? Rashawn White, the running back. We were talking about a guy that like is just a crazy rallying, and you're like, this dude's got RB1 potential, but he just has to hit it. This feels like him. It's another one of those guys that if he gets in the right situation, he could be one of those like, this guy came out of nowhere type players. That's that candidate.
Speaking of right situation, give me a number 6, John, because I'm ready.
No, number 6.
Cole Turner, Nevada.
Literally the exact same thing.
6'6", 246.
Yeah, I was gonna say guess his height and weight. I bet you'll be within 1 inch.
Remember when I said Trey McBride had a crazy catch radius?
Yep.
This guy has a crazy catch radius.
And he had a quarterback.
Oh, yeah. Again, we saw him projected in the 5th round in mock drafts. I don't get it. Maybe it's because his quarterback was Carson Strong and they wanted to like knock him for it.
Maybe. 10 touchdowns don't lie, though.
But great production. Good route runner, but like not blow your face off with speed. I mean, only Isaiah Likely was going to blow your face off.
You know what? You mentioned Likely. I wonder who's going to run the better 40, Likely or Turner, because Turner's a burner. Turner the burner out here. I'm interested. I think Likely's going to blow the clock. I think he's going to blow the speed gun up. But
I think Likely's going to be first, and then you can throw Turner in like with the next like top 3 when it comes to speeds.
Yeah, Likely. There's always a guy that like you never scout who like Dree Archer. Remember him, the running back?
Oh my God, yeah.
Right? Why? Was like a 4.26 he put up. And like nobody knew who he was, and it's like 4.26. All right, 5th round. Like he's all of a sudden draftable. Remember when John Ross was like a consensus second rounder?
We don't need to talk about John Ross.
And he tore his groin running the 40 for at 4.22. And then he, busted because you kind of are gonna. Imagine, I think we mentioned that earlier. I think it's the third time this year we've mentioned John Ross. Because when the Bengals were rallying, I remember saying to you, imagine if he had hit.
Oh, my God. They would have won the Super Bowl.
You would have won the Super Bowl. They also probably wouldn't have had Jamar Chase. But
you would have Penny Sewell.
You know Penny's brother's in this draft as a linebacker?
What's his name? Quarter?
No.
Nickel and dime Sewell.
Kevin boo him now. Something. Put something there. I don't even want to write that quote. I want him to just think of one on his own. Do it right now. That. See that? That's what he thinks of U of T. I'll write it later. So anyway, it's hard to do both. This might be something we need help doing.
Chris, the editor, the writer, the Kevin. Anyways, Cole Turner, one of the better receiving tight ends coming into this draft. Watch out for his combine. If he goes in the 5th, just like Charlie Kolar, you got to steal.
Right.
Number 7. And
which rhymes with Kevin.
Thank you, John.
Yes. Number 7.
Number 7 is a tight end that John likes a hell of a lot more than me.
A little bit.
You gave me number 7. Jeremy Ruckert.
I want to
Ohio State.
This, by the way, we don't even need to say his size. You know what it is. He's 6'5", 250 something. That's what he is. He's 6'5", 252. I just want to make sure I'm clear about something. It's not that I like him. Liking him more than you doesn't mean I like him.
Especially with my opinion being so bad.
Your opinion of him is low.
Yeah.
And I mean Tyler Algier low. You don't like Jeremy Ruckert. You do not understand why he's a 3rd round pick. I kind of agree. The problem is, in this analysis, Ebteen would take him off the board.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I get that. Ebteen, we literally wrote this. I'm going to read the entire analysis word for word here. We want to see what it looks like testing, but this is as raw as it gets. He's got great physical traits and runs a good route here and there. His blocking is a total work in progress. That's industry speak for that. It's bad. And in an offense like Ohio State, you would think production would be more there. It wasn't. Oh, the next thing. It just isn't. He misses blocks far too often. True. And the receiving production is uninspiring. Very true. If we're wrong, we're wrong. We're probably not. But we don't see what's being seen here. Ebteen wouldn't even draft him. I don't know if I'd go that far, but his tape was not particularly enticing. I don't need to have this player.
I'll go on record and say that this is a tight end we're going to forget 2 years down the line.
All right, fair enough. I'll let you go on record on that one. I'm not going to say a word then.
If he ends up as a top 3 tight end, what do I have to do?
By the way, how do we have somebody ranked below him then?
No, because of you.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Who's the other guy?
Someone who had very little tape.
Yeah, it's somebody with little tape, but it was somebody that's been so the reason, you know what, let's put Ruckert at 8 and let's put Jake Ferguson at number 7.
Okay.
Because there's not much to say about Ferguson other than, hey, guess what? He's 6'5", but 244. He's too skinny. There's Jake Ferguson had almost no tape
that we could find.
There is so little separating any of the tight ends other than, as we've said, McBride and Weidermeyer. Those two are so much better. And listen, the way we view it, I think, and I've seen, tell me I'm wrong if I am, McBride and Weidermeyer, then a gap, then Isaiah Likely, then another gap. And that's kind of where that goes. Cade Otton, here's your question. Is Cade Otton closer to the other group, or is he closer to Likely?
It depends on what you need. because if you need a blocking tight end, like a tight end 2, that will be a good blocker.
Oton.
I might take Oton before Likely.
Fair enough.
It really depends on if you specifically need a tight end who can block.
Well, but he's a pass block. Oton's not a run blocker at all.
At all.
He can't run block. He can pass block like a bee. He's fantastic pass blocking. He cannot run block to save his life. But
for one of these teams, that's going to be extremely important.
And we didn't see a whole lot of great blocking out of Likely at all. Likely just looks like a big-ass receiver. A big, fast receiver. It's a weird tight end class. I think we hit it a few minutes ago when I said that it's fit this year at tight end. There's McBride, Weidermeyer, and then fit. But I would still take Likely. Speed kills. You can't teach it. It's pretty, and they're all the same size, so who cares?
I think my favorite tight end might end up being Cole Turner.
I like Cole Turner. He's interesting. He's just an interesting football player. That's what's so great about this class is they're all fun. I love it when we see a guy that says like projected round 5, graded round 3 to 4. I love having that. And that's what we have for Cole Turner. We have him over his round projection by a lot. We had the same thing for Charlie Kolar. I love those two.
Congratulations on reaching the halfway point. There is no segue here. I am now the host of Objectively Wrong.
Gene is now the host of Objectively Wrong for the remainder of this episode because it's OLine time, and I've done a great deal of them. You're going to probably notice a couple of names missing. I'm going to preface this before I fully hand the reins over to you as the host for the remainder of the show. And by the way, before anybody asks, I'm sure it's well documented. I think I probably speak on this show more than he does. This is absolutely not like I'm not the host and he's like the sidekick. Like this is true. Like we trade this show for sure. So there is no host. If that
I talk more for wide receivers than you do.
Oh yeah.
Well, I love wide receivers.
He loves wide receivers, and I love these fat dudes at OLine. This is some of the most fun I have all year is watching OLine tape. I love watching OLine tape.
And safeties. I'm going to talk so much over you on safeties.
I'm going to do D line like a freak. I can't wait to say the D tackles suck.
And linebackers. It's weird.
You and I both love linebackers. No, you and I both love linebackers though. And we both love running backs.
Yeah.
There's no I'll change it this way. My favorite tape all year to do is running backs. It wasn't this year until Kenny Walker. But this is a good O-line class, and it's why I enjoyed it so much this year. There's one problem I encountered, though, this year at O-line. My God, is it even? Like, they're all good. Every name I say tonight is going to be a good player. There's no one I look at and I think you're going to stink because they're not. They're all good. But I'm gonna mention a couple guys that I did not cover at all, and then we'll move over to who I actually did cover. So,
all right,
Donovan West, Arizona State. I did not get through to him yet. His best team fit is Cincinnati. That's another thing that you're going to notice for every one of these O linemen. The best team fit for all of them is Cincinnati. Dear God, get him some protection before you kill Joe Burrow. Nicholas Petit Frere. I don't know how to pronounce it. I apologize. I could be butchering it. Did not look through all of his tape yet. Will work in progress. They're all INCs. They will be done by the defensive line episode. But I want to see. These are guys that I did not finish and need to see the workout. So I didn't see enough to finish their report. Darian Kennard from Kentucky. That's another one. Not him. Abraham Lucas. This Max Mitchell, Abraham Lucas, and Zion Johnson are all different. Max Mitchell, though, is the worst offender of this. I saw Max Mitchell in the third round of a mock draft. And then I saw Sports Illustrated, more reputable than the third rounder mock draft that I saw him in, put him at the 6th round. So I don't have a clue where Max Mitchell belongs. I need to read more and I need to learn more about Max Mitchell. I've seen him as low as 3 and as crazy up there as 6. It was mind-boggling to me. I was ready to be done with him, and then I saw that, and I figured, okay, I need to look at the tape again. And this was like 3 hours ago, so I didn't have time to finish that. Zion Johnson and Abraham Lucas have also had some interesting foundational issues as far as where they fit. So I need more tape, and I will get the workouts. I'm going to mention one more guy, and then the reins will be fully over to you for the remainder of the episode. Tyler Smith. I did not see him in the first round of any mock until today. That mock was by Daniel Jeremiah. I didn't watch any of his tape. He wasn't on my list. I didn't know about it. So I'm adding him. And I'm going to read real quick the note I wrote down here. I only saw him mocked by DJ in the first round. I have not seen him in many, if any, other first rounders. And I checked. He's not in a single other one. I am not diving in on his tape yet. I will wait for the workouts, but I've got my eye on him. And also, he's a Cincinnati fit because he plays offensive line. Ebteen, you are the host.
Alrighty. I have all the power. What shall I do?
Did you really just call them the Thickums?
Yeah.
Kevin, behave yourself.
All right. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to introduce the prospect. I'm going to tell you the size. I'm going to tell you the projected round. And then I'm going to let John give his description, and I'm going to ask him some questions. And we're going to do that 8 times.
9 times.
9 times.
They're at the top of team.
Oh, boy.
Do you see them? You see them now?
All right. Give me a number 1.
Wait, we're starting at number 1?
Oh, you want to start from the bottom?
Start at the bottom.
Okay. Give me a number 9.
No, number 9. Wow, that was bassy.
That was terrific.
Wasn't it?
That was like
a 9.
That was like a classic Washington Commanders or Washington football team.
Washington Commanders. Washington Commanders.
All right, at number 9.
I hate their new name.
Everybody does.
Hate it. Just go back. Football team was worse, but just go back.
Football team was excellent.
Go to number 9.
Number 9, Sean Ryan from UCLA, who played left tackle at UCLA, but will likely test as a guard on the combine. He is 6'5", 320. We see him projected in mocks in the late 2nd round. John, do you agree?
I do. And here's the problem with Sean Ryan. Again, I'm going to preface this. I said it during the tight end analysis, but I'm going to preface it again here by saying not a single player I'm mentioning here do I really have outside of the 2nd. I kept these guys lumped here because I had so many guys that I thought, okay, this is a 1st or 2nd round pick. I've got 9 of them, and there might be more. So Ryan's interesting. I don't like guards that are 6'5", personally, because that's big. And I don't like taller guys toward the middle of the pocket because the quarterback has to find his holes to look past his linemen more often. Especially if Ryan goes to a team with a less than taller quarterback. I couldn't even hear the cough. I think your mic filtered it out.
Oh, wow.
What did you say?
I said Kyler.
Arizona. Ryan's interesting. Almost every bit of analysis of this guy is that he's got 3 years of tackle experience, and yet he's not an NFL tackle. And I think I might get it, despite my aversion to taller guards. There's just one problem with his game, and it's a big one. He can't play half of it. He is a run blocker, and he's a damn good one. Like, I'm not exaggerating. He might actually be the best pure run blocker of the entire crop that we're going to talk about tonight. He's fantastic at it. Every instinct at run blocking is good. The problem comes when he's pass protecting because he misses, and it's not good. He gets a little punchy with his hands, and at times he kind of falls over himself because his balance isn't that great. There's problems with his legs. And you have watched OLine tape with me a million times before. You said it to me once. You showed me tape of Mike McGlinchey years ago during the Nelson McGlinchey, Colton Miller year. You were like, what do you think about this O-lineman? Because you wanted an O-lineman. You ended up taking Miller. And it turns out that's the better pick over McGlinchey. McGlinchey had a problem. His scooter step was not anchored. He did not establish his base. He was a fantastic player in every other facet, but he's an okay NFL lineman because of it. This guy has a problem with the anchor, and that's a hard thing to coach out of an O-lineman. It's a big man. Now, I say it's a hard thing to coach out of an O-lineman. The Eagles have Jordan Mailata, who had played no football in any capacity before he was drafted. And he's getting paid like $70 million now to be my left tackle for the next decade. So, cool. A tackle's anchor is the bread and butter of pass blocking. And the reason this guy can go to guard is because it's not as important there. It's imperative for a tackle. If you don't have it, you suck. But at guard, you can get away with it because you have the support on the outside and the inside. Yeah, if you need to use him as a tackle in a jam, go ahead, slip him out there and put a guard in. But it is what it is. This is the only lineman I'm going to mention tonight that I don't see a way that he gets into the first at all. Like every other guy could feasibly. I don't think they all will, but they all have a reason why they're up there. I don't see it here. If you're a guard in the NFL, that's fine, but he's huge at guard. It's not something I would want to do. The right fit is good. He needs to go to a run first team. He has to. If he doesn't, if he ends up with name pass first team.
Kansas City. Green Bay.
Kansas City would be a bad fit. Kansas City would not be a good fit for this. Green Bay would be a cataclysmic fit.
Buffalo. Although Buffalo with their running quarterback.
Yeah, Allen runs. That's I was thinking Buffalo, and I'm like, Allen runs enough. This, you know where this would be bad, actually?
Where?
I hope you don't take him. He doesn't fit you at all. He's not mobile enough to be a pulling guard even. Like there's some problems. He's a good player. I don't want to sound like I think he's a bust or anything because he's not. He just needs to learn the other half of the game. He needs to be half as good at it as he is at run blocking. He'll turn your running back into a Pro Bowler. He's going to kill your quarterback. Maybe. Cincinnati, this might be the one that isn't your fit. Maybe not. You know what? No, scratch that. Anything's your fit. You take anything. This is better than that. Yeah, this is better than anything you have at guard or tackle or center or defensive lineman. Anyway, number 8.
Daniel Falele from Minnesota.
Ask me questions. I said so much about Sean Ryan without you saying a word. You're hosting this. Take control.
I had no questions. I think it was pretty obvious. All right, Daniel Falele from Minnesota is 6'9", 387. We've seen him going in the second round of mocks. John, what do you have to say about a 6'9" offensive lineman?
It's not so much the 6'9" as much as it is the 387.
Yeah, that's
387? What?
Wasn't there a lineman that we wanted to study that was over 400?
No. This is as close as I saw close to 400. Listen, if there's an O-lineman in this year's draft at 400, I don't care what round he's going in. Before the next episode, I'm watching all of his tape. And if he's sub 6'9", I'm watching all of his tape 4 times. This is a big man with big man power. I wrote this in the analysis, though. Now, here's the bad news. He plays like a body more than he plays like an actual offensive lineman. He's huge, and he knows how to use it, and he's never going to lose to a bull rusher because you can't move that person. The problem is, if you're going to run a speed edge around him, you got him. You got him. He's not fast. He's running through mud. He's so big. He's a behemoth. It's like you put pads on Snorlax. He's giant.
I was gonna say Sully.
6'9", almost. He's a couple of dinners from 400. What? For reference, Jordan Mailata is like kind of the comp I'm going to put on him. I know the Jordan Mailata comp's been used by people on another lineman we have here, but he's huge. He's Australian. He's only played a little bit of football. The difference, though, is that while they're the same height, Falele is a full 22 pounds heavier. It shows, and it feels like it's more the way he moves, because Mailata's nimble. I don't know if that's praise of Mailata or a detriment or casting crap on Falele.
Now, would you say Falele is more of your classic offensive lineman that's kind of gone out of fashion?
I don't know if it's so much more out of fashion as much as it is, again, like with Ryan, scheme dependent, but he's almost the anti-Ryan. Use Ryan if you want to run the ball. Use Falele if you want to throw it. And if you're against a defensive end that can't aggressively put, like if you're against a D end, like if you're against an Everson Griffin type D end that wants to engage the O lineman and overpower him, you're fine. He's not going to lose that battle.
Now I'm wondering how many of like the top defensive linemen aren't more so speed rushers than they are bull rushers.
You raise a very good point.
And I wonder if, like, do you see him maybe moving to right tackle?
Yeah, I do. I do. Well, no, I see him. Here's what I see. I see him going to the spot on your line where you have the better guard, because he's going to need some help. He's not ready day one, the way I look at him. And listen, if he blows the door, like if he runs a 40 that I'm not expecting, because I'm expecting like a 5.4 or a 5.5. If he gets close to 5.1 or 5.2, my opinion may change. But the thing about him that's really helpful for the speed rusher, he does have a weapon that can counter a speed rusher. His arms are huge, 35 inches. Like they're massive. His span is crazy. But when he has to go to a linebacker, he's too slow getting there because he's running through quicksand. He's always there late. He's a good lineman. I don't want it to sound like he's not good, but like with Ryan, it is very scheme dependent. He's going to need help. What would be great for him is you've got a good blocking running back on your team. Slide the running back, unless he has to cover interior. You need a couple of good guards. This guy can thrive in the right offensive line. I don't think, though, what's funny is this is the last guy on the list that I can say is probably never going to be a team's best O lineman. He could be productive for you. I mean, when you're that big, you've got to be good enough. I think to answer your original question, yeah, I mean, he's probably old fashioned. If you're that big and can't move, it's expected now. O linemen have to be able to move a little bit. If you're that big and can't move, you might be in the wrong year. But this is a guy I would take in the second or the third and give him a shot and like see what he is, because he's a mountain of a human being.
Any potential to move into guard if he fails a tackle?
What?
I don't know. I'm trying to find avenues.
Absolutely not. No. If you put this man at guard, you have a problem. I would not want that. I would not want that.
Now watch this segue. All right.
Go ahead.
Your next lineman.
Number 7.
Bernard Reinman, Central Michigan, guard.
Yeah. So here's what's fun about him. And the rest of these guys, by the way, I have very few bad things to say about. I love former tight ends that have become tackles. People have him at guard. I don't like it, for the simple reason that he is 6'7". I don't like it. Now, here's the reason he could be a guard. He's 6'7", 304. That's a little light. That's center weight on a tackle body. That's not good. You need to gain a couple of pounds. He needs to add 20 to 25. It's not 10. It's like 20. It's clear that he's going to have a starter opportunity early in his career. Like, he's going to come into somebody's O-line room this year and kind of surprise them. I think he's going to be taken thinking like, okay, he could be the heir to somebody. And then he becomes the guy anyway.
So Mailata. We're saying Mailata a lot.
Yeah, sure, but I think he's going to be, I think it'll happen faster than him. Mailata took a year and a half for us to admit it because we drafted a first round lineman who just didn't work out.
Wait, is he also Austrian? He's Austrian.
No, Brett. So this guy's Austrian, not Australian. This one's Austrian. To me, he's clearly a tackle. I don't understand why anybody's grading him at a guard. He's working out as a tackle. He's played tackle. I don't understand what they're talking about. I think he's going to make the most of those opportunities. He is not a prototypical tackle because he's not 320, but the mobile gifts that he has, because he played tight end, don't be shocked if he runs like a 4.7. I'm not 4. Well, he's not Lane Johnson. Lane ran a 4.7. You laugh, but he ran a 4.7. Don't be shocked if you see a 4.8 or 4.9. He's gonna break 5. I'd be surprised if he did. If he doesn't break 5, it's gonna hurt. It'll hurt his ranking on my board for sure. I think he's gonna test through the roof. And again, I don't want to give him a full grade really yet. I graded him late 1 preliminarily because I do see that as his like. That's the best he can get is early 1. Or I'm sorry, late 1. I think he's more of a 2, but I've seen him in the first a few times on certain mocks. The problem with picking a guy in the first is he one of the 32 first picks in this draft? But you're noticing, I'm sure you're seeing it, I'm noticing it a lot. Drafts are not putting Matt Corral in the first anymore.
I can't wait till we get to quarterbacks.
I can't either. I'm like chomping at it because I keep seeing it's only Pickett Willis now. I'm like, what is happening?
And he's not testing in the combine. He's just interviewing.
Who's
Matt Corral?
Are you serious?
He's going pro day.
Oh, no. Oh, Matt.
He's only interviewing.
Matt, you're falling. Why would you do that? Well, at least now we know why he's falling. Oh, no, is he hurt? No, he's hurt.
He's hurt. He's recovering from a high ankle sprain.
No, that's fine. Right. Okay, of course. Yeah, he's hurt. I take it back then. Yeah, I need more on this. Ryman's a trade into the round type guy. He's not someone you got to take in the 20s. He's someone you trade into the round to go get him that extra season. 1 year on the OLine, and he's already this good. I'd like to see. I'd like him in my room to keep growing.
All right. What's next, John?
How clear is it that I'm more excited about these guys than Ebteen?
I'm currently speaking for Kevin when I say number 6.
Number 6.
Trevor Penning, Northern Iowa, 6'7", 330. Now, this guy is a riser on draft boards right now. He's currently projected to go round 1. John, what do you see?
So I'm going to say the bad first because I'm going to talk crap about Daniel Jeremiah real quick. I like this O-lineman. I do not like him as much as Daniel Jeremiah does. Daniel Jeremiah had him 6th overall to Carolina. What are you on? 6th? I don't have him as my 6th O-lineman. I have him as a 6th O-lineman. Yes. He is my 6th O-lineman. What? 6th? I mean, listen, he might be better than my 5th guy. Maybe. I don't think he's better than the top 4 at all. I like this player. 6'7", good. 330, really good. He's pissed. All right, you got the trifecta.
I think I even noticed that too when watching the tape. Trevor Penning was just throwing people around.
He was throwing them.
Yeah.
He might as well have been a quarterback. Big, strong, pissed. You need all 3, and he's got them. He misses linebackers on the second block, which you don't love seeing, but that's a lot of rookies have that problem. You've got a crazy prospect when he doesn't do that. Penning is a good prospect, but he does do the thing you see almost every rookie lineman do. But I made sure to note here, the first and second rounds for linemen are really weird this year. Because does a team with a significant need at offensive line take this man in the first round? Yeah, they do. I think that's why DJ had him at 6.
We did see Alex Leatherwood go in the first round.
Nobody needed Leatherwood that bad. Give me a break. He's looking at me like, what? Why do I say that? You guys can see it now. Yay! You're going to hate that soon. By the way, if you guys want to stay on Spotify or Apple Pod, you do what you want. This is another way you can engage. There's a comment section and stuff down here. You can enjoy all that.
Kevin will read them.
Yeah, and we will.
We are Kevin.
Oh my God, I just saw one of the things you wrote in the chat. No, that's violent. That's so rude. That's so rude. Why? Daniel Jeremiah is the Chris Sims of OLine. Oh my gosh. That's not fair.
My Kevin is great.
I can't wait until Chris Sims QB rankings come out this year. We're going to laugh.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever he says, if they line up with ours, we're going to be mad.
If you need a reminder, he had Zach Wilson, number 1? Or was it number 2?
I think it was 1.
Yeah, he had Zach Wilson number 1. We had Zach Wilson 7.
I think we had him 4 or 5. Yeah. We might have had Kellen Mond over him. We did not. We didn't have Mond or Mills over him. No, we had him in the first still, but wow, golly.
Not because we wanted to.
No.
Because we knew he would go in the first.
Yeah. So Penning, the strength of this human being, I would not be shocked if he puts up 35 reps on the 225 this week. That man is strong. And I mean, like, aggressively strong.
Now, you say he struggles with linebackers. Is it fair to say he struggles to get to the second level when he's blocking?
You know what? It's not, you mean as far as his speed?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's so much a speed issue as much as it is an angle issue. I think he's not reading it properly yet. I think he's got the legs to get there. I've seen him run out in front to protect the running back and to, cover for some quarterback, some pass rushes a couple of times. I'm not worried about his speed. His athleticism is perfectly fine. The problem is once he gets to the linebacking, linebackers are naturally going to be faster. They're going to be hard to maneuver. But what I can't overstate enough is that if he does get his hands on the linebacker, they're done. They're done. They'll quit.
So is this a well-rounded player? Because the players below him, this is a specialist in pass blocking,
right?
Specialist in run blocking.
Yeah, I think no. I think this is more. You're getting into the way more balanced player here. He can cover a rush. He can cover a pass. There's a little bit of polish that you need to add to this player. He's hardly a finished product. He's not the smoothest runner, but he's not slow. And some of his manhandlings are holds. I'm not going to say that they're not. In the pros, they will be listed as holds. But most of them are not. And he's a demoralizing lineman to have to deal with because he's just throwing you around. He's bullying you. I like him a ton. Right now, he is not in the top 12 for me. In the top 12 of the draft. Okay. His testing could absolutely change my mind on that. But not yet.
All right. Number 5. Don't whisper like that again.
Number 5.
Kenyon Green, Texas A&M, 6'4", 325, played all over the line, but not center.
So I also noticed that I didn't finish my analysis here. The last thing I wrote was, I think I like.
And I think that describes it. We see him projected late first to second round. John has him as a late 1. And I think this is funny. Included in your best team fits is Las Vegas.
Yeah, so Cincinnati is always there, but this was like one of those guys. I'm watching him play, and I'm thinking, you know what? If you ever need a guard?
Yeah, Alex Leatherwood is one of my starting guards. And we took him to be right tackle.
Yeah. How's your left guard?
John Simpson is there.
Could he be improved upon?
Oh, yeah.
You think you'd use early capital to do it?
No.
When's your pick?
Oh, 22?
Do it. He's worth it. I like Kenyon Green. He's played everywhere except for center, and it's a big man to call him a guard, but all of the best tape I saw him put up was at left guard. That was his best tape. I saw him play the tackles. I saw him play right guard. His best tape is left guard. It's not close. He can play everything. Huh?
It is 22. I can't believe I got that right.
Who picks right before you?
You like 3 times.
No, right before you. I
check.
picked 15, 16, and 19.
Yeah.
Who picks 21? Is it Dallas? No, it's not Dallas.
Dallas, I think, is 20, isn't he?
It might be Dallas, actually. Who's 21? By the way, Dallas could do this. I don't think they're gonna, though.
God, I don't need NFL. I don't need 2021 picks. Why is this so hard? No one has updated their draft website. It's been really bad.
Kevin's pissed at you.
Kevin's pissed at me. God, so slow. Kevin, I am you. It's the Patriots.
You need to get in front of them.
Yeah.
You want to pick? I've got 3 of them.
That can't be right.
Gather round, children. I've got 50. By the way, just real quick, no chance Howie Roseman is picking 3 times. Never gonna happen.
He should take all 3 of my favorite wide receivers, and then I'll cry.
Yeah, he is not picking 3 times, and I don't think any picks are going to be offense.
Oh my God, I can't believe the Patriots are right in front of me.
You're screwed in more ways than one. Anyway, Kenyon Green. Big dude plays filthy. He's utility, meaning he can play anywhere you need him to. But
no, I feel like it's important to cut in right here.
Go ahead.
We just saw a tackle drafted in the first round who played everywhere to the Chargers, named Rashawn Slater, who played out of his mind this season.
Out of his mind, Pro Bowl rookie.
How far away is Kenyon Green in this regard?
Comping him to the quality of Slater?
Yeah.
Slater was better. But Slater was... The problem with Slater is that when he was coming in, it was still not really clear what position he was playing. It's clear to me what position this man plays, which could help Kenyon Green's case. It actually might make him a better day one player because it means he knows what he plays. If you know what you play, that's just something else you don't have to worry about. I just threw like a dust bunny in front of the camera. What?
Nothing. I love your hand mannerisms. We're on video now. Everything is funnier to me.
You're right.
Falele.
So he's an interesting prospect because you don't tend to see a guard that is a great pulling guard and a great north-south guard, but he is. Yeah. He holds sometimes, and sometimes it's more than sometimes, but he is always low. And I made sure I wrote here, I don't have much separating him and Trevor Penning at all. I might like Kenyon more because he actually does seem a little bit more polished, and he shows me consistently that he can move his big frame quickly. He moves it faster east to west, slightly, but he moves really well no matter what. So I'm very happy with this crop. If you were to tell me that this is the best, you know what's funny? This is lineman 5 on my list today.
Mm-hmm.
Who was lineman 3 last year? Christian Darrisaw?
He wasn't drafted at the 3rd, but yeah, he was for us.
Who was the 3rd one?
Leatherwood.
Okay, stop. So Darrisaw was the 3rd lineman in last year's draft.
Minnesota.
God. This guy's better than Darrisaw. He's a better quality player than Darrisaw, which is crazy to say that you look at 5 linemen that are all better than at least Christian Darrisaw. Let's go to number 4.
Number 4.
Number
One
4.
of my favorite tackles, actually, when I was watching him with you. Charles Cross, Mississippi State, 6'5", 310, projected first rounder. John also has him a first rounder. And you've also listed multiple team fits for him.
I did. And I listed so many teams for this guy because this is where things get weird. There are 2 other tackles in this draft that are pretty consensus top 5 picks. And I'm not going to take them out of that realm because I agree. And we'll get to them shortly because this is actually getting to be a very long episode. But I wrote here and I made sure I made sure to write this because I want to say this. The reality is that if any tackle in this draft, if any tackle is going to outplay, I'm just going to say them, Evan Neal or Ekwonu. I always screw up the pronunciation of his name. I'm sorry. If any tackle is going to outplay those 2 consensus top 5-10 picks, it's Charles Cross. There are some times where he resorts to a hold when he just doesn't need to do it. And sometimes when he does need to, he knows to just do it and just bite the penalty, which is you would rather take the penalty than the sack. The penalty keeps the down. The sack hurts your quarterback and loses you the down. You take the hold over the sack. And he needs to improve as a run blocker. But his pass blocking is on par, if not actually better, than Neal and Ekwonu. And he's not going to blow anybody away in the workouts. He's not particularly fast. Really, you're looking at an O-lineman in danger of putting up Orlando Brown levels of athleticism. I don't think he's going to be that bad. But he's a big dude, incredibly tough to move. 310 does concern me a little at 6'5". I'd like to see it add like 15 pounds, please. 15 is not too much to ask. And he seems to actually exhaust pass rushers, which if you're just going to keep mauling them, his handwork is second to none. If you're going to maul players to the point where they just don't want to engage with you, you've won the game because your quarterback's just going to have all day to stand there and throw. I would take him higher than most mocks have him. I might take him in the first half of the first. I've seen a lot of mocks in the second half of the first. I think he'd be an asset to any O-line. And I want to make sure I emphasize Giants, Jets, Dolphins, Bengals, Raiders, Jaguars, Chiefs, Seahawks, and the Rams, but they have no picks. I don't even know. I think you wrote the Rams, actually.
Yeah, because their O-line is literally retiring.
It's terrible. Cincinnati needs to find a way to get this football player. You're not going to get one of the top 2. Get this one. Get him.
You keep on mentioning Daniel Jeremiah. Yep. He's your favorite analyst right now.
Yeah, sure. I actually do love DJ. I have no hate for
DJ. In his most recent mock, he had him going to the Raiders at pick 22.
At 22. Yeah, I have him in the 20s. But I think that's where he's going to be.
Specifically for right tackle. Now, how do you see him making the shift? Yeah.
Interesting. So, sure. I could see that. I mean, for the Raiders, he'd have to because Miller is your left. I mean, listen, he seems capable. I'm not going to say I don't recall seeing him aggressively manning the right side. But sure, why not? I don't see why he can't do it. Lane Johnson came into the NFL as a left tackle. He's played right his whole career. There are some linemen that can't make that switch. So if DJ is going to put Charles Cross at right tackle, it means he can do it.
Now, I also mentioned that because you have the Giants as one of your best fits, and they drafted Andrew Thomas, a pick we both did not like.
Terrible
but
pick.
in the latter half of this last year, he has improved to the point where I don't see him being replaced at left tackle. I see them going for a right tackle. And the Giants pick much earlier. The Giants pick, I think, twice in the top 10?
Like 6 and 11 or something?
Yeah. So
it might be even higher than that. Actually, I think it picked twice in the top 10.
Yeah. So what do you see as the peak and the floor for this player? because he's your 3 and he's pretty clearly separated as your third lineman.
Here's the deal. Yeah, he's the third tackle. Here's the problem. When it comes to Charles Cross, let's take the Giants as the example. The Giants have 2 picks in the top 10. I think their first pick is like 6. I don't remember exactly. Do you have the order in front of you?
5. I think it was 5.
All right. If you can get the order, make sure you get that right. But let's say it's 5. You anticipate Aiden Hutchinson will be one of the first picks. And then the other 2 tackles are also going to be picks.
The Giants pick 5 and 7.
5 and 7. You're not going to do the 7. So what they want to do is this. If Cross goes 7, I'll actually be surprised because I don't think he should go inside the top 10, but I don't think he should fall all the way to 22 either. I think Cross needs to find that sweet spot in between 10 and 22 and go. I'm not saying this because I want the Eagles to get him. I don't think he fits us at all. We're done at tackle. We're good. But I'm saying this because I think what the Giants would be really happy with at 5, honestly. I don't see Ekwonu and Neal going in the top 5 or going in the top 4, rather. Because think about it. Right now, although we will talk about something that I've been considering, right now, you're seeing a lot of Hutchinson's going to go top 3. One of the O-linemen's going to go top 3. And then, like, Kyle Hamilton is up there as well, the safety out of Notre Dame. Then, if you're the Giants, you just got to worry about number 4. Whatever number 4 is, you have to worry about.
New York Jets.
The Jets are 4th.
Mm-hmm.
Giants are screwed. There's your answer. The Giants are screwed. Because what I'm saying is the Giants probably don't go Cross at 5 or 7 unless they want to go back into like 11 or something. Maybe somebody wants to come up and go get a quarterback. I don't know where the quarterback's going to fit right now. What I do know is that the Giants at 5 are going to be hoping and praying the Jets don't take Ekwonu or Neal, whichever one got there. Because I don't think the Lions are not taking one of them. They're going to take a pass rusher. I'm pretty sure at this point the Jaguars are going to take an O-lineman at number 1. And I don't know what Houston's going to do, but I don't think it's O-line.
Now, you mentioned going up for a quarterback.
Yeah.
I would like to mention that pick 6 is Carolina Panthers.
Sure.
So if you want to get a quarterback, you likely need to go before Carolina. So that number 5 spot is very tradable in my eyes.
It's very tradable. If the Giants don't get the O-lineman they want, if the only option there is Cross at 5, Ekwonu goes to the Jets, for example, and Neal went number 1 to the Jags, or even vice versa, which you've seen it every which way with those two. Is your question to me, do you bail out if you're the Giants? My answer is probably, I think about it for damn sure. I would absolutely think about it. I think that's a very, very, I think that's a smart idea because you're not a good team. So just get the hell out of there. You're just not good. Run. You don't need to pick that early. You don't need to reach. Cross is good, but I wouldn't take him at 5. That's high.
Let's move on to your third-ranked offensive lineman.
Number 3 is somebody we've already discussed. It's Ikem Ekwonu.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, so you didn't have to say it.
Yeah.
North Carolina State.
Because if anyone's worse than John at pronouncing names, it is me.
I'm not even that bad at pronouncing names.
I'm awful.
You're not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a skill you have.
He is 6'4", 320.
That's a skill you have. You could say numbers.
He will be a top 10 pick. Would likely a top 5 pick. Fits Jacksonville, Cincinnati, the Giants, the Jets, Carolina.
Yeah, it's everybody in the top 6 other than Houston. I just don't see Houston doing it. It's not that I don't think Houston could use an O-lineman. It's just they spent so much money on Tunzel. I'd be surprised if they did this. This is prototype tackle size. This is exactly what you want to see out of a tackle. 6'4", beautiful. 320, beautiful. Can't ask for better. This appears to be Daniel Jeremiah's top tackle as of right now. I do not agree. And I still don't agree, even after watching the tape a couple times over. It's not to say either one is elite and the other isn't. I mean, this is no spoiler. I haven't mentioned Evan Neal yet. You guys aren't stupid. I'm going to talk about Evan Neal as being a better prospect than this guy. And I've got one more lineman, and I'm sure you know who it is. And I'm going to say a lot of good things about him. He might be my favorite lineman.
So let's cheat. Let's cheat.
You want to cheat?
This is what we're going to do. Compare and contrast. John's number one offensive lineman is Evan Neal. Let's compare Evan Neal with.
We're just going to go back to 2 later.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense because you got to do the tackles together. So fine.
So let's compare the 2 best tackles in this draft.
Right.
And let's discuss what you saw that made you put Neal above Ekwonu.
God, you got so close. Ekwonu.
Yeah.
So Neal is a great player on a great team at Alabama. Ekwonu is a great player on a bad team. He had to elevate his game to the nth degree. And the right side of the O-line at North Carolina State, Ekwonu played left tackle, looked absolutely pathetic by comparison. It looked terrible. And it showed constantly. He uses his hands like a boxer. And when you are getting punched in the chest by a man that big, repeatedly, I understand you have pads on, but the impact that you are taking to the chest, repeatedly, boom, 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 it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt a lot, and you're going to get tired. You're going to get really tired. This is a nasty football player, and I'd actually argue this is an angrier player than Evan Neal by a lot. This guy.
Oh, Trevor Penning.
No, nothing's pissed. Nothing on earth is more pissed than Trevor Penning. Nothing. There's never been anything angrier than Trevor. Grumpy Cat is not angrier than Trevor Penning. Grumpy Cat's like the measurement of anger, right?
Sure.
Who wants to dig up a meme from years ago? Kevin Intern Kavinsky?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Anyway.
It's really late.
Yeah, it is. It's almost 1 a.m., guys. He beats you up. He wants to fight you. This is another guy who thrives more as a pass blocker than a run blocker. It seems to be a trend this year, but he's going to test very well, and he's worthy of a top 5 to 10 pick. If he slipped to 6, Giants be thrilled. Or I'm sorry, because it means you got him. Well, no, if he slips to 6 Giants, you're dumb. You're gambling on the idea that the Panthers won't take him, and I'm telling you right now, if you're the Panthers and you're sitting there like, I need a quarterback, and Ekwonu falls in your lap at 6, you can't take a quarterback. You can't do it. You have to take him because you're going to keep him with the Giants. It's not just me saying it. He won't get past 7 at that point. The Giants would be fools. I don't know what the hell they would have taken at 5 if they don't take Ekwonu. Give me a break. That would make no sense. But where some may see a guy that over pursues on assignments, and that was a written knock a few times, I see a guy that's shifting from assignments, maybe not as seamlessly as Evan Neal. That was the draw for me. Neal seems to have the quicker get to where he has to be. He knows where he has to be a little bit sooner. I think that's probably because Neal was on a team that was better run because it was Alabama. I'm certainly not going to insinuate that Ekwonu doesn't have a very high football IQ. He does. They both do. But here's where Ekwonu thrives. I think he's faster than Neal. I think he's a more athletic option than Neal. And I think that's why DJ likes him so much more. He's prototypical. He's balanced. His feet are quick. His anchor is stable as hell. He punches you in the chest, causing internal bleeding. That's obviously ideal. And he's a mobile tackle. In the modern era, that seems to be what you want. Now, Evan Neal is 6'7", 350. He beats him in the size department. He's not going to get power rushed. His feet are great, but his hands are way better. He's a big man with big man talent. Yeah, there's concern against speed rushers. Not like Daniel Falele, but there's some toughness. What?
It's the name. It's so perfect.
Daniel Falele?
Yeah.
There's some concern regarding speed rushers with this guy, and he sometimes comes a little late switching on stunt looks. But if he fixes the lateness, it's not a word I use a lot for linemen, but Neal's going to become close as he can to unstoppable. If he can learn to get more mobile, he's going to be almost impossible to get past. He doesn't hold people. He doesn't drop his hands. He gives you a tug move, which can be called holding, but very often is not. And he's straight up giant. His consistent pro comp has been Jordan Mailata. Professional writers have written that. So you cannot teach his size. And the things about him that you'd like to see get better are some of the easiest things to fix in an O-lineman. Under the right O-line coach, with the right tutelage, with the right cultivation of his talents, Evan Neal's going to be the best lineman in this draft. All the tools you need are already there. He's a high IQ player, high IQ lineman. Listen, a high IQ lineman can't be overestimated. You need that. You absolutely need to have a lineman with a brain. They're not just big dudes. They need to be smart.
Is it fair to say that you see both of these tackles as potential top 10 tackles in the NFL?
Yes. And I think more likely the guy that gets there sooner, here's where it gets weird. I think Ekwonu can get there sooner than Neal. I think Neal may end up being the better player. If you told me right now, this to me, you know what this feels like to me? It feels like Fisher and Jokel. Remember that? Eric Fisher and Luke Jokel. I understand. Listen, I understand Jokel is a bust and a half, and Fisher has never been that great. Neither of them are half as good as these players were coming out. But I'm saying, as far as two tackles that are clearly going early, which one's better than the other? It wasn't decided until the morning of that Jokel wasn't going number one. Jokel was the one for months, and then the morning of, it's Eric Fisher. Much like Baker Mayfield the year he went number one.
So what would you let's have a fun little segue here. Rashawn Slater, Penny Sewell, Evan Neal, and Ikem Ekwonu.
Ekwonu.
Ikem
Ekwonu.
Ekwonu. Rank them for me.
Today?
I know it's difficult. Yeah, rank them for me today.
So the problem is today Slater's higher than Sewell.
Okay, let's rank them as prospects.
Okay. I was going to say, because I don't believe Sewell's worse than Slater. I still think Slater's the second best between the two of them. Sewell, based on where they were on draft day.
Yes.
Sewell, Neal, Ekwonu, Slater. I think both of these guys are better prospects than Slater was coming out, because Slater had question marks. There were question marks about Rashawn Slater coming out. It was the big question mark was, what position do you play? Because nobody knew. You are not questioning anything with these two players. These are tackles, and these are left tackles. That's what these men are.
The final offensive lineman, John. Your number 2 ranked offensive lineman is a center.
Yes, it is.
Tyler Linderbaum.
Linderbaum.
That
is literally. Can you just not read? Is that the problem?
I was doing something else.
I just wrote another quote.
Don't worry, I already covered that. Iowa center, 6'3", 290, will be a first round pick. John, top 10, no question. Give me the reason why I'm going to want to draft a center in the top 10.
Yeah, he's Jason Kelce. He's exactly Jason Kelce, other than the fact that he's 5 pounds lighter. 6'3", 209. Kelce is 6'3", 295.
So take him out for dinner.
Get him, buy him a nice porterhouse and be done with it. Jason Kelce was a 6th round pick so many years ago, but he became an all-pro almost overnight. The guy's been great ever since he came into the league. You can find great O-linemen late, but when they're already great, why don't you just take them? Tyler Linderbaum impresses me with everything he does. And I'm more sure that he's going to be great than I am about the other two tackles we just discussed. Evan Neal is still the better prospect because Evan Neal's just God-given size at the tackle position is perfect. But Linderbaum is so perfect at everything he does. The Jason Kelce comp is perfect. The size is identical, sub 5 pounds. They're both elite level leaders, loved by their teammates. They're mobile centers. They're furiously nasty, and they thrive in both run and pass pro. This might be my favorite lineman I watched. I know I ranked him at 2, but I could have easily put him at 1. Granted, I would have had things thrown at my face, but I could have easily put him at 1. This guy's technique is perfect. His anchor is fantastic. He might be the best lineman in the draft. He doesn't get the looks that an elite tackle prospect is going to get because he plays center. Interior linemen don't get that look. And I saw somewhere that somebody said he sometimes throws a too high shotgun snap. Where? Point me to the tape. I didn't find it. I thought it looked pretty damn good, actually. That snap gets there incredibly fast. I want to find the problem. That's why I do this, is to find the problem. He's a true center, and he's damn good at it. I mean, there's just no way to say it. The one thing I can point at, yeah, sometimes he over-pursues. Sometimes. But like I said, every single lineman does that. The only one I've ever scouted that didn't do that was Quentin Nelson. It's the only one I've ever scouted that didn't do that. Quentin Nelson did actually everything perfectly. There was nothing he did wrong. Nothing. He had a couple of holds in college. Oh no. Who cares? Everyone holds. Only it's the great linemen that don't get caught holding. Leans a little, tries a little too hard to get his hands on the defender. Okay. This shows more in run blocking. He'll head to the next level, and sometimes he's going to, early on in his career, he's going to try to engage. He's going to miss. He's going to fall. And I'm not going to give a damn because I know how good he's going to be. It's insanely infrequent, but that will need to be correct. Big time. NFL talent's a lot faster. He does need to rein those reaches in, because if not, he'll have issues. But Lance Zierlein from NFL Network put it the best. Some teams take guys his size off the board entirely. And this is where the fit comes in, which, again, I put Cincinnati. I think in this player, if you were to take this man off the board because he's a couple of pounds underweight, and teams do that, Baltimore usually just drafts giant linemen.
Good news, everyone.
There's some. Hey, Tino Flele. If that's not a Raven, I don't know who is. If you take Tyler Linderbaum off your board because he's not big enough, I think you should be fired. I think you should be fired. I don't care how small he is, or because he's not. I think any center needy team in the first round needs to plan their draft around this guy a little bit. I'm not saying take him first overall. That'd be crazy. But I see a 10 to 12 year stud that's going to put Pro Bowls up. He's going to be a Pro Bowler consistently. I don't know. I could be wrong on anybody. I could be wrong on literally anybody.
So you have a top 10 pick on him.
I have a top. I would take him in the top 10.
Give me your dream team within the top 15 that you want to take Tyler.
Start saying teams.
I should have been more prepared for this.
Yeah, we both should have been.
All right.
But if you're gonna host and ask me the question, it's on you.
Jacksonville.
No, they're gonna take Neil Iriquane.
All right, I'm just gonna move past the Giants.
Move past the Giants.
Carolina.
They could use them.
The Giants again.
Give me a break. If they go O-line, first of all, I don't think it's a bad idea. But second of all, they won't.
What about Atlanta?
Not necessary yet.
Denver.
Who's 10?
The New York Jets. Again.
Go to 11.
The Washington Commanders.
Who's 12?
The Minnesota Vikings.
Go up and get him. Go up and get him. Yeah, they need an O-line. They need an identity at O-line.
They drafted Darisaw last year.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it didn't work. I'm just not gonna say Darisaw was bad. He wasn't, but like,
listen, Vikings,
like it didn't
you
work.
need more.
You need more. Sorry, it didn't work. You need more. Who's 13?
Cleveland.
They could do it too. Cleveland. The problem is Cleveland needs to go wide receiver. If they don't, someone will be assassinated.
All right, let's make this interesting. You're sitting there at 15.
Who's 14?
Baltimore.
Crap. Take him off the board, you morons. Take him off the board. Please let him get to me. I listen, here's the problem. I don't really need him. And it sucks because I kind of want to need him.
When you have 3 first-round picks, it's not always about what you need.
I am totally what have I told you? The first round is BPA. I think the first round needs to be BPA. And by the way, if Washington sticks to their old BPA strat, he won't get to me. But what I'll tell you is that unless like Sauce Gardner is still there, he probably will be too. I can't wait to do DBs because you got 3 DBs and nobody knows where any of them are going. But it's like Gardner, Stingley, and Hamilton.
Yeah. For your information, Gardner is pretty locked in as like a top 10 pick.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah.
Listen, if he gets to 15, do I take him at 15 or 16? Listen, Kelsey is on a year-to-year basis. I have Landon Dickerson, who I know can play center, but he played some really good left guard for me last year. I know the Eagles like Isaac Somalo at left guard, but I'm just going to be very, very blunt about it. Screw Isaac Somalo. I'm sorry. I know I like Isaac. I don't dislike Isaac at all, but bump Isaac to right guard, keep Landon at left, and put Tyler in the center position as soon as Jason Kelsey is ready to retire. Just do it. I'll tell you this right now. If Tyler Linderbaum is drafted by the Eagles 15 or 16, Jason Kelsey told us that it's his last year. That's what that would mean. He told us it's his last year. So I am very excited for what Linderbaum can do. If he gets to 15 or if I have to go up a little bit to go get him, I might do it.
So that's the O-line. We are done.
O-line. We are done.
Next week, we'll come at you with the combine first round mock draft.
What do we write down on it? We have a big ass schedule that we've written.
Oh, yeah. I have the schedule out. It will be a combine like reaction and a first round draft based off of that one.
Right.
This was our first YouTube episode. I can't believe it.
Yeah, it was about 2 hours long.
We're on YouTube for 2 hours.
What a mistake. Well, we did 2 position groups. You guys can couple this as like 2 episodes if you want to. Watch listen to the tight ends and then come back for.
This is the last time we do 2 position groups, just so you guys know.
Yeah, I think this is the only time we're lumping in 2. The reason we're lumping in 2 is because we want to make sure we get at least 3 mock drafts to you guys. And there's really not that much time. It's March. The draft's at the end of April. There's not that much time. It's like less than 60 days left.
Yep.
We gotta go. And new league year starts in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
It's surprising there's not more news.
There really isn't.
Hey, I expect by next week we'll hear some stuff.
I expect we'll probably know if Aaron Rodgers is staying in Green Bay. Okay.
I hope so.
That is John. I'm Abteen. We are the Next Men Up. This was an episode of Objectively Wrong. You can now find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and anywhere else you listen to your podcasts.
Guys, also make sure to go follow the Twitter account at Next Men Up. Join the Facebook group Next Men Up, and the Instagram account at Next Men Up.
We're on YouTube, so now I have to say this: hit that subscribe button.
Oh my god!
and turn on the bell for notifications.
And the bell. By the way, we haven't decided this yet. The podcast on Spotify and Apple might come out sooner than the episode will on YouTube. So if you really want to listen to it without having to see our mugs, you can still listen to it sooner on Apple and Spotify.
But you're gonna miss out on Kevin, and you don't want to miss out on
You'll
Kevin.
miss out on the Kevin bites. The Kevin bites are YouTube exclusive. Kevin's Corner is YouTube exclusive. Kevin, say goodbye. Be nice. We won't talk to Kevin this much every week.
Yeah.
This is just our way of introducing Kevin.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Have a good week.
And good morning.
Good morning. And enjoy the combine. Enjoy the combine. Linderbaum, please be there at 15.